Yeah, I mean, I think our guys gained some confidence from last week. We had two great basketball games, one on the road that we pulled out the overtime victory, and one home that we did not pull out the overtime victory. But we were down 10 with under 4 to go. Jordan Talley fouled out. We get to overtime. We get up 4 in overtime, and then Marcus fouls out. So I think there's some positives we can draw from all that. Obviously Charleston, they've had great battles over the last couple of years. They've been the two best teams in the league, and they have everybody back, and we do not. We're working to get there, and our guys are showing some progress, which any coach wants to see. And our guys weren't necessarily huge pieces in last year's games, but they saw the intensity of the battles, and they should not be surprised walking into that arena that it's going to be a man's game. We got to show up and we got to compete, or they're going to take it at us, and we're not going to be able to fight back. So I think everybody understands that has been a part of it. Now, in saying that, some of our new guys and freshmen, we have played some good opponents so far, so that shouldn't surprise us. And we've played in some different atmospheres, but nothing's going to be like the Charleston atmosphere, and so they should be excited about that.
Jalen had a couple games where the turnovers were really high, and the shots weren't falling, but coming off the last two performances, how important is it to have him as one of those secondary scorers where you kind of know what you're going to get from Devontae, but to have that outside presence?
It's very important. We've been wanting consistent perimeter scoring all year, and we've been pretty inconsistent but consistent because somebody usually steps up, it seems like, but it's not the same person every night. If Devontae can get his 30 minutes, he's obviously very consistent for us. And everybody else after that, is hit or miss. So with Jalen having back-to-back 20-point games, I hope that gives him the confidence to realize that no matter the atmosphere, no matter if it's a home or away, he can still do it. And I did like seeing him cut down on his turnovers because he was forcing a little bit too much. And, and sometimes kids force because they want to make a play to help their team. It wasn't like he was forcing to be selfish. I think he really thought he could help the team, and that's what he was trying to do. Now, it didn't turn out that way. And when he didn't force as much, it seemed like it was more open for him. So I hope that reassures him just to stick with what we try and do and get the shots in the areas that we work every day to get them.
Last week you said a lot about one practice. You didn't put up a lot of shots prior to that Elon game. You just focused on defense. What has this week's preparation been, since this is kind of that first week of that Thursday, Saturday, where you guys can get into that rotation?
Yeah, so it helped that we had more days, so I could do enough stuff defensively that I could also throw in some offensive stuff, because it wasn't like one day in between games or only 2 days to prepare. So we have done more offensively this week than we did last week, but we've done the same amount of time on the defensive end. It's still been a large part of our practices, just trying to get the repetition in on the defensive end, whether it's drills or 5-on-5. So our guys are more and more comfortable of doing it regularly as opposed to having the game slippage like we were having.
Keeps to have more man-to-man zone back and forth.
Both. Yeah, I thought Northeast, we didn't play as well in our zone against Northeastern as we did against Elon, which is sort of surprising because Elon shoots so many threes, and then against zones you usually settle for threes. And Northeastern did a nice job of attacking, and now they got threes, but. Yes, we are spending more time on man-to-man stuff, but we are spending a lot of time on our zone too. And in games, we play more man-to-man than we do our zone, so that's why we have to spend just as much, more time on it in practice. But, they are doing a nice job in practice. I just really working with them on guarding the ball without fouling. It seems like our first instinct is to, as soon as he starts driving, we just put our arm on him or try and hold off a little bit. It's just a natural instinct, and we got to keep our hands out. Don't body him until he gets closer to the lane, because once you get your arm on him, he's going to push off, and it's going to look like a foul on you. or he's going to feel where you exactly are and keep you on his hip. So we sort of just broke it down a little bit more in terms of how I want them to try and guard the ball. Now, it might make them feel a little uncomfortable, but in the end, down the road, whether that's next week, a month from now, 3 years from now, I hope they just keep getting better and better and better man-to-man defense.
You've hinted at times at what you expect out of Jalen. What are your expectations, just on the table, with what you see in practice and what type of athlete you've seen him be? What are your expectations for him?
My expectations, I don't know if you can put it number-wise, but it's just to do more, rebound more, whether that's offensively and defensively. I think on both ends he can rebound more. Obviously, I wouldn't say I expect him to score more than 22 points a game, because that's what he averaged last week. That's great. I want him to feel comfortable taking and making open shots, taking and making shots that we work on in practice. If the shot clock's winding down and he needs to create, whether that's for him or a teammate, to be able to do that without turning it over. So there's a lot of things. I want him to be a more well-rounded basketball player. He does a nice job screening in our sets. When he's the screening guy, he does a nice job of getting his teammate an open look by setting the screen. And that's something that's becoming more consistent. So, it's a lot of different things. But if you want to talk about statistical stuff, it's shooting a higher percentage, taking better shots, getting out on the break, scoring in transition, but rebounding the ball more and have a better assist-turnover ratio.
He said just a minute ago that he's been comfortable in the past in playing with more free-flowing offenses. Offenses aren't set as much. Do you feel like he's getting more comfortable in set offenses now?
Yeah, and I don't know how set our offense is because our secondary break there's different actions that lead to something, but we haven't been real successful in our secondary break, so we have to play more sets. So it's sort of what are we doing well and what are we not doing to see what we need to do. When I was in middle school and high school, I don't know if I ever ran a play, but I was a pretty darn good basketball player. And you get to college and you realize, you got to learn to play different styles. Every game's different. Right. If you are by far and away better with your talent at every position, you can just go out there and just play and not worry about it because you're probably going to get whatever you want, whether it's on a break, in transition, half-court set, whatever. We're not in that situation right now, and so we have to do a lot of things to try and get shots where people can make shots. And I think that it's an adjustment for everybody. I think the more minutes you play, the more you got to get used to your role. I don't know what his role per se he thought was last year, right, but they were probably just hoping that he would do something positive when he came in the game. Sure. Now we're not hoping for him to do something positive. We need him to do something positive, and so we need him to feel comfortable and to be in spots where he can be successful.
Do you feel this team has more confidence than they did last week after picking up that win? And you didn't get the win in overtime, but seeing more competitive games?
Yes. No doubt about it. And the way the games went, where we were down and we had to make plays to get into overtime or to win the game, and we did. As opposed to, let's say we were up 6 with 2 minutes to go at Elon and then losing overtime. Probably wouldn't gain a lot of confidence other than going to overtime at Elon, who's a pretty good team, and they hadn't lost at home on the road. At home all year. And then Charleston goes in there and loses, so they still only lost one time at home to us. Now, Charleston hasn't lost either at home, and so I said, hey, Elon hadn't lost when we went in there. But the way the Northeastern game went, how we're down 10 and Tally fouls out. Now, we were only down 4, I think, when Tally fouled out, but to send that to overtime and to see some things and some guys to be in different positions that they had not been in the Elon game, I do. Are we as confident as we'd be if we won both of them? No. But there's some things to draw confidence from.
It seems like that rotation's gotten a little bit tighter. Is that the teams you're facing, or just kind of we have to play our best players and we have to win?
That's I wouldn't say we have to play our best players and we have to win. I have determined that I am going to shorten the rotation. I wanted to get guys enough experience throughout the course of the non-conference that when we got to conference play, they could be ready to go in or play critical minutes in any situation. And I think I did that well enough. Did that cost us some victories? It probably could have. That's for anybody to say. But I think in the end, it's going to help out, because if Jeffrey Gary wouldn't have gotten those opportunities in non-conference to be a point guard and had to come in and play the point with 2 minutes to go, and we're down 4, I don't think he would have done as well as he did against Northeastern. So that really helps. But I also didn't want to get to January and Devontae not be able to walk because he's exhausted, or Tally not to be able to walk because they're exhausted from playing 35, 36 minutes a game. It's a grind. I remember playing college basketball. I've been around college basketball a long time, and you want their legs to be fresh as they can be in January, February, and March, when you're trying to make those strides and feel your best and play your best. And so, yes, I am planning on shortening the rotation and those kind of things to get the guys that in that game, in that moment, I think will give us the best opportunity to win.
With this new schedule that you're in consistently, does that give you ample time to give guys rest during the week for practice so that you can do that?
Yeah, I think they feel rested, like they're ready to play again. I don't think by the time we got to Northeastern that they felt rested, because that was, since we came back from Christmas, we had a lot of games in a very short amount of time. But I think now, I do think they get Sunday off. And then Monday we do some things, and then Tuesday we do some things, and Wednesday we do a few things, getting ready. So it's not like we're killing them, but they should, their bodies feel better. Just by the injury report, we know they're doing better.
There's obviously become, like you said, a rivalry between these two teams, and you've played and coached you coached in the rivalry game in the state. What have you brought from that to tell these guys? Have you been able to tell them anything different?
No. I think every rivalry has a unique spin, whatever it is. Everybody always claims they have the best rivalry. I don't know what the best rivalry is. A rivalry is a rivalry. When I was in high school, I had a rival that was a huge rivalry, and what the game's going to be like. It's going to be an all-out battle. You're not going to like them. They're not going to like you. And the fans aren't going to like you. You're not going to like them. So just because I was involved in the Duke-Carolina rivalry, that doesn't, mean anything other than I can say. Those were some fun games to be involved with, which I'll say after we have rivalry games with UNCW. It's going to be fun to be involved with a rivalry where that it means a lot to a lot of people, and you got to play your best to win, which you want it to be like that.